Nwoko is adding his voice to the call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Beyond that, to add one more state to the southeast. We've seen the combined legislative arm of the government of Tinubu also giving approval for one more state to be created in the southeast for some sort of justice and equity across board, because other regions have got 6 states, and in fact northwest has 7 states. Only the southeast has 5, and that is clearly an injustice done to the southeast. So there's a push, there's a call, and this has continued over time. I don't know whether this particular addition of his voice would have any changes. Let's listen to him while he featured on Politics Today.
On the floor of the Senate, and you have argued with your colleagues the need for an Aniama state. And don't even begin the conversation around marginalization, because that's the first thing, because people will say we have Southwest 6 states, South 6 states, Northeast 6 states, North Central 6 states, Northwest 7 states, but Southeast 5 states. Is that part of the agenda to fix the Southeast that seems to be smaller in terms of the number of states, or what?
Well, almost just over a year ago, I had a meeting with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where I discussed about the problems of Southeast, the insecurity in the Southeast. What do we do to address it? And he knows the problems, and he also has an idea. The whole idea is that there should be some level of equity extended to the Igbos of Southeast by having an additional state. It wasn't going to be an easy task, to create one, but it is doable. And I'm happy that we have come this far. The point is this: even at that time, it was understood that the problems of Southeast, the agitations of the youths of Southeast, the killings there, the referring to the ESN groups and ESN and IPOB and the rest of them. These are young people who have come up to say that they are fighting for freedom because they are marginalized. And one of the areas that they've all spoken about and against is the fact that they are the only zone. Southeast is the only zone in Nigeria that has 5 states. Why is that? Why was it done intentionally to undermine them? Of course, yes. And from engaging those youths, it became so obvious that if a step is taken in creating one state, just one state, to bring it apart with 5 other zones, let's leave Northwest out of this now. At least bring it apart to the 4 other zones, then something would have been done for them.
Absolutely.
Yes, they are clamoring for different things, but I mean, not least, of course, the release of Nnamdi Kanu. They're asking for it. We know that is something that has to be done. You would just say
Nnamdi Kanu to release.
Oh yes, yeah.
Why do you think so?
Nnamdi Kanu has been in custody for some time now. I believe that he has been held unjustly. Many people feel that way.
As a lawyer, do you think so?
Oh yes. And
that the judicial process is unjust?
Yes. Yeah, no, it has been. There's a lot of delays in prosecuting him and all that. If you want to get him tried and convicted, get on with it. But this is a guy who has been held unjustly aside, for so many months.
And the Buhari government started it.
I'm not talking about this government.
Trial. No, so the point I'm making now.
I'm talking about the previous government under Buhari when
he's facing a judicial process right now.
Yes.
Saying it's unjust because the argument is that there should be a political solution, maybe a nullius prosecution. Prosecution should be established on that for the case to be withdrawn. But there are those who will say, well, there are allegations and it's left for the law for him to have his day in court, which is in process.
But as you know, there have been some pronouncements by the Federal High Court, which has not been respected. You know, so his incarceration is the main reason for the crisis in Southeast.
Yeah.
But the crisis started before he was even arrested.
No.
The killings, the burning of police station, the killing of police officers and all whatnot.
Well, look, the problem in Southeast is very different from what is said in the Northeast or Northwest and all those areas. You know, the problem in the Southeast has to do with the perceived injustice by governments, successive governments. So what needs to be done? And one of it's why I'm here today, you know, talking about the creation of states to make up the number of up to 5. And then you have the release of Nnamdi Kanu. By the time you do these two things, I am almost certain that peace will return to Southeast.
Let me ask you this question.
I have spoken to so many youths in Southeast, from Southeast, and they have assured me that that they are prepared to be engaged by us, by the leadership. You know, when this is done, they don't want to die. The youths don't want to die. They want to go back to schools.
They want to be. They indeed want to be engaged. Everybody is also looking for an opportunity to get engaged. After all, the government has, you know, interacted with and even negotiated with terrorists. You know, Fasami says Senator Ned isn't being truthful. Was there any peace in the southeast when Nnamdi Kanu was inciting his people against the Nigerian government and those he claimed to defend? Abode says whether one agrees with Kanu's methods or not, it's hard to deny that his continued detention has deepened resentment and unrest in the region. Barrister Ofo says if we are being honest, you don't need a soothsayer to see that Nnamdi Kanu is being held unjustly, with different court judgments and others in his favor that the federal government has blatantly refused to obey. The government itself stands in clear contempt of the law. Godwin says, are you preaching peace to a people who feel ignored? How do you build unity on exclusion? CSO states that the crisis in the southeast stems from this political marginalization and prolonged detention of Nnamdi Kanu. Justice has to speak for the silence to heal. Chia says no Southeast senator has attempted to be this blunt publicly. They are all cowards, not wanting anything to delay their constituency projects. Babatunde Abdul says, well, that's your opinion. Calling them cowards is it's crazy, I must say. There are a few of them who have been blunt, who have hosted a few of them on my show on TV, and you know they have been talking, but you know, you wouldn't hold water if, for instance, if you don't have the 5 Southeast governors come together and say, you know what, we're going to do this, we need to do this. There haven't been that concerted effort. There was under Buhari. In fact, Soludo went to Buhari and said, give this guy to me. But it never happened. Under Asiwaju, if somebody tells me that in 2 years plus of Asiwaju's reign, that Nnamdi Kanu will still be in detention, I would say it's a lie. I was thinking max 6 months. But I think it's becoming crazier. And so many persons have said that it is possible that Southeast leaders, maybe political leaders, are the ones asking the president not to release him, that he might cause chaos for them in the Southeast. It might scuttle their elections. Who knows, too, if he is released before the November 8th election. Many people are saying it's November 8th election in Anambra that is stalling it, that is keeping it. The November elections is on the 8th, and maybe Anambra State Governor, ever since he has piped down on talking about release of Nnamdi Kanu since this year started. Maybe he's feeling that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, he might be a major factor in him winning or losing that election. And so they are stalling. They're stalling for when the first week of November is gone and the elections are called. Then he can now start renewing his call for his release. But again, there are so many layers to this, and I really don't know on what basis Nnamdi Kanu is still being held against his wish and even against the law of the land. It's madness. Tell me what you think in the comments.